Tarpon Bay, Sherman and Coastal Culmer in North Palmetto Point, Rosie and Spence Thompson in South Palmetto Point, Ivor Hall and Shereen Munnins in Rocktown, Jennifer Miller down there in Oakfield, all the security officers in Old Fort Bay, especially Ms. Glynn, Ms. Rule, and Mr. Green, and Mr. DeFleur, and it's coming from Security Tinker. Melissa, have a good, long week holiday. Thank you from Security Tinker.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Tinker. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing this morning?
Good. I am good. I would like to wish Sheila grandson happy birthday, pre-happy birthday. Also, Anna Smith, and also Alice Brooks and Edith and Miss Burr niece birthday, all them. And also, my goddaughter, Shanti Gibson, is having a birthday today. Shanti, God will be there for her cake, okay? God love you, and I love you. And also, good morning goes out to Miss Roll and my pastor, Bishop J. Carl, and Minister Evangeline Reming, and Lily May Gator, and also Princess and Patrick Brenning, and all my radio colleagues. And everybody be safe over this holiday weekend. You also, Melissa. And Brenda, it's nice talking to you yesterday. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so very much. Last call of the morning. Good morning. Hello, you made it in.
Good morning, Melissa. How are you this morning?
Morning. How you doing? I'm wonderful.
I'm blessed, Melissa. Melissa, with that being said, let me wake up my mom, Miss Betty Ramsey. I would also like to say good morning to Miss Sheila Markey. Good morning, Sheila. Happy birthday greetings going out to Miss Alice. Let's go be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. That's coming in from friends, family, and the 242 Wake Up Call crew. We all wish you a blessed and a happy birthday tomorrow, Miss Alice Brooks. Also celebrating on Sunday is my boy, sorry, Miss Lillis husband, Peyton Gray. Happy birthday, Peyton. Coming in from Paulette Ramsey. Enjoy your birthday, Peyton. Coming in from the entire 242 Wake Up Call crew. Let's have a blessed day and a blessed weekend and a blessed holiday.
Thank you so very much. And of course, you enjoy your holiday as well. At 6:30, good morning to you, Bahamas. Of course, reminding you that today's show is brought to you by BTC, NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers, Miami Back and Neck Specialists. We buy, you sell. Bahamas' first general insurance in the international appliance store. Want you to keep a locked. More music is on the way for you. After the break, we have Jay Mitchell coming up. Also, Gino D. At 6:50, it is Success is Your Birthright. 7 o'clock, top of the hour, is your inspirational song of the day. And today, Bahamian history immediately after. Later on, we take an encouraging word from Bishop Neil C. Ellis and the Mount Tabor family. And of course, at 7:30 is the morning edition of the newscast over the Bahamas Radio Network. Good morning to you.
Car discounts. On top of the savings, we have first response emergency accident service, and because I pay the bills, I only have one renewal date to remember. Drive and save with NUA. Call 302-9100 or email askus@nuainsurance.com.
Former cabinet minister, the late Tennison Wells, a proud son of Long Island, did not sit on the sideline and complain about what was wrong with the Bahamas. He offered himself for public life. He made a contribution and had a distinguished career. This Friday, October 11th, Radio Bahamas, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and 810 AM at 11 AM will provide live special broadcast from Christ Church Cathedral, George Street, the official funeral of the late former cabinet minister, Tennison Wells. That's this Friday at 11 AM on 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and 810 AM.
Monique Williams is ahead. Deborah is trying to test her. Monique Hennigan is coming back on the outside. Monique Williams is ahead of the field and she will land gold. The Mexican is trying hard, but she won't get there. The Bahamas land gold.
A breaking news release over in Aspen Street. Time for celebration, dancing in the streets. Monique Williams, darling, made Bahamas proud again. The start of fire gun, the women start to run to see who would be Olympic champion. One lap round the track, she's the leader of the pack. Go, Tony, go, you are the star of the show. Beautiful and bold, with plenty heart and soul, in pretty blue, black and gold. Coming round the bend, a ponytail fly never looking back. Running up the track, she's in full control. And she's going for the goal. A little bit more to go. Here comes Mexico, trying to steal the goal, trying to spoil the show. Tonic Williams, darling, shifting in turbo, and the whole I'm a shouting, go, Tony, go, go, Tony. You are the star of the show. Olympic champion, you made it big. You're queen of the Golden League. Run, darling, run. Girl, you're one in a million. Olympic champion, you want it big. You're the queen of the Golden League. How she get so fast? She from Bahamas. Where she get that spunk? Eating plenty gunk. She made history for the world to see. And she did it so classy, made us proud and happy. Hey!
Tonic Williams, darling, in 49-42, the third gold medal in Olympic history for the Bahamas.
Debbie Ferguson, Tonic Williams, our darling golden girl. All of our Olympians, you have made us proud. Proud to be Bohemians. We might be small inside, but big in surprise. We're full of potential and full of pride. Never take it for granted. No, that would not be wise. If you
Yada yada, kill the chit chatter. Let's come together, deal with this matter.
Listen, when a child has gone astray and the pain won't go away,
get on your knees and pray.
Lord will wipe the tears away.
All you brothers.
Good morning, LaDon. Good morning.
Look, it's simple. Fidelity can consult.
Grand Bahama today, bringing economic opportunities to that island. With the Cancer Society extending its care to many across this country, and we explore Cat Key and what it has to offer. It's finally the weekend. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Some overcast skies on the outside, and let's get you up to speed on the weather conditions for today and throughout the holiday weekend. Here's our weatherman, Basil Dean.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, LaDawn. Zedna's Tower Cam showing some partly cloudy skies, and that will all change later on during the course of the day. We have a frontal boundary in the area. We'll tell you all about that as well. As we go to our satellite picture, the tropics, very quiet this morning, but we have that frontal boundary now to the south of the capital, continuing to drift into the south central parts of the country. Behind that, the winds are expected to pick up. But outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, your temperature 81 degrees, relative humidity at 83%, easterly winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,012.3 millibars, that's 29.89 inches, and your pressure is steady. Temperatures this morning, 77 in Marsh, Abaco, Green Tulkey at 77, also Freeport 77 degrees, 80 in the Berry Islands, 81 in Allenstown, Bimini, 80 degrees in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera 78, Otterstown, Cat Island at 79, 77 in Staniel Key, Kemps Bay, St. Andros, and Fresh Creek, it is 78 degrees, 79 in San Salvador, Rum Key at 79 degrees. We're picking up 80s in Ragged Island, Clarence, Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, Matthewtown, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. And your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots. Caution flags are up for your boaters. Those wave heights, they're going to be around 4 to 7 feet. High tide 5:59 this morning, low tide at 12:10 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, southeast winds 10 to 15, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Basil, thanks a lot. Very soon we could be having bumper-to-bumper traffic on our streets. Lloyd Allen and the Morning Edition team is standing by with the Bahamas First traffic report.
Sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning again, LaDawn. Good morning, Bahamas. Well, it's a great start to your Friday morning. This morning, we're reporting traffic to you from the intersection of Shirley and East Street. It's a busy morning so far. Traffic is beginning to build in this area, but of course, we expect that will continue as the day progresses. We expect that the state funeral will take place in this area for the late Tennison Wells. This morning, we're joined by Corporal Barr from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, who's giving us an insight on how you can maneuver around that traffic. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
All right, so give us an idea of how what the route's going to look like for Tennison Wells as he moves from the building downtown to the cemetery and to the church.
Okay. Yes. This morning we are going to be of the funeral service for the late Tennison Wells. The body will commute with a procession from the House of Assembly, traveling west on Bay Street to the George Street to Christ Church Cathedral. The George Street area will be closed for the duration of the service. On completion of the service, there'll also be a procession from that church to Nassau Street at St. Agnes Cemetery. So we could anticipate somewhat of a traffic backup, but we'd ask persons who have to commute through that thoroughfare to do so with extreme caution and exercise great patience. Also, if you don't have to use that area, we'd ask you to avoid that area because it tends to get a bit busy when we have these road closures in place.
Well, we know, of course, in the Nassau Street area, roadworks continues there as well, so drivers are definitely needing to approach that area with caution and care.
Yes, go right back to what we suggest and advise. If you don't have to, try to avoid that area. Find an alternate route to get from one destination to the next.
Could you also give us a quick look at overnight traffic? Any incidents to report?
We had a fairly quiet night. over the 24-hour period, and we're going to ask persons to do the things that we have always been asking, advising you to do. Drive within the confines of the speed limit, drive while secured by a seatbelt, and also to pay special attention to those new amendments that have just been passed.
Yep. All right, so some good news there. LaDawn, before we end this morning, just a quick quote I want you to keep in mind. A great man once said, if you want something bad enough, the universe conspires in order for you to have it. That's said by Paulo Coelho, who wrote the book The Alchemist, and I've been hoping for Friday to make its way here, and finally it's here. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to a great weekend. LaDawn, back to you in studio.
So am I, Lloyd. Thanks so much. Good news for Grand Bahama as that island moves to rebound from the devastation caused by Hurricane Dorian. Today, Carnival Cruise Line will resume regular calls to that island. Carnival Pride will arrive in Freeport with Elation docking in Grand Bahama on Sunday. Carnival Pride departed Baltimore a week ago for a week-long cruise with nearly 2,400 guests. By the end of the year, Carnival Cruise Line expects to host 39 calls in Freeport, bringing more than 100,000 visitors to the destination and providing a significant impact to the local economy. For the full year, over 400,000 guests will visit Grand Bahama on a Carnival cruise vacation aboard 10 different ships sailing from 9 U.S. home ports. Also, the government will soon table legislation that will officially replace those national documents lost, damaged, or destroyed during Hurricane Dorian. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, announced this week that the bill will provide a temporary fee payment exemption on those documents for individuals who reside in Abaco, Grand Bahama, or any surrounding keys on September 1st.
This measure covers the period 2nd of September 2019 to 30th of March 2020 and may be extended if necessary. Individuals on Grand Bahama and Abaco may replace documents such as passport, police record, driver's license, voter's card, national insurance card, birth certificate, death certificate, marriage certificate, deeds recorded at the Registrar General's Department.
Meantime, progress is being made on an estimated $20 million water restoration exercise over in Abaco. Now, according to Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson, out of the 11 water systems on the island, 8 have been restored and 3 remain offline. He noted that approximately 2.4 million imperial gallons of water and approximately 100,000 gallons from reverse osmosis plants are produced daily. He indicated that Abaco was the corporation's second largest revenue stream, and Hurricane Dorian has made a tremendous impact on revenue.
Marsh Harbor, the restoration efforts have been focused on providing water supply for critical government buildings and those housing relief and restoration teams to aid the cleanup and restoration activities. In summary, Mr. Speaker, interim water has been restored for most of the city center, Spring City, and parts of Central Pines, with teams now commencing work to restore supply to Dundastown and Murphytown. 2 water trucks, one being a 2,500-gallon tanker and a smaller 900-gallon tanker, are also being utilized to tanker water to critical locations on the mainland. This includes filling bladder tanks that have been set up at our various strategic locations and providing water to governmental agencies and NGOs providing relief and restoration services.
Gibson noted that Water and Sewerage Corporation officials are very concerned about the Treasure Key and Spring City sewerage systems. He said there is a substantial sanitation challenge with no electricity supply and 17 different sewage lift stations in Treasure Key. Gibson also addressed Abaco's interim water supply restoration.
Both the 500,000 and 250,000 imperial gallon storage tanks in Marsh Harbor was severely damaged, and the 500,000 gallon storage tank in Treasure Key was totally damaged. Thus far, our team in Marsh Harbor have repaired well in excess of 200 distribution system leaks as they attempt to restore an interim water supply for that community. The Treasure Key and Spring City sewage systems sustained substantial damage to all of their above-ground infrastructure, such as control panels, etc. Water storage tanks on Green Turtle Key and Moores Island also sustained structural damage, and the storage tanks on Grand Key and Sweden's Key were completely destroyed.
As the restoration efforts continue, a call is going out for Bahamians to volunteer their time to assist with the cleanup exercise on those islands hardest hit by Hurricane Dorian. Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction, the Honorable Iram Lewis, says while plans on a national volunteer program have not been finalized, he is hoping that once implemented, volunteers will be able to receive an incentive for their service.
Governor General has been asking to start a national volunteer program, and I think he's gonna make that announcement in short order. We were about to launch in Grand Bahama, where Senator Kay and her team was pushing hard to get a volunteer program going, and persons have been volunteering. There's an organization in the U.S. that donated some 10,000 shirts, volunteer T-shirts, that person can be identified as volunteers. So volunteerism is big right now. We need it, but then there's a twist to it. We also have to find a way to compensate because people are looking for a job. So maybe a way persons can volunteer, and at some point, if some can be engaged on a full-time basis, given some sort of stipend. But in the first instance, we do need volunteers.
Lewis says his ministry is also engaging Bahamian contractors, additional manpower, and international recovery teams to provide services and equipment to collect debris left behind by the deadly storm. Lewis also expects the cleanup team to find more remains under the rubble.
I was in McLeanstown yesterday, and as we was in the harbor going from McLeanstown heading towards Sweden's Key, you see cars under the water. It looked like coffin, looked like a graveyard, looked like coffin-shaped cars all on the bottom of the basin. So again, we cannot leave them there. We have to tag them and get them out, because that's a boating lane where persons leaving McLeanstown, going to Sweden's Key, going to Crown Haven, Abaco, even going to Grand Key. So those areas need to be cleaned up. But there are a lot of people on the counted for. So we hope at some point we could be able to account for them even as cadavers. So we're having the cadaver team as a part of this whole mission. We're getting calls from persons with experience from the U.S. Navy who want to come in and partner with us in terms of recovery. So the expectation is, it's not something that we're looking forward to, but during our cleanup, we expect to find remains as we go. So we put protocols in place, even in the shanty towns that we're cleaning up right now, where we know that more compromise took place with respect to persons living.
Representatives of the U.S.-based Information Technology Disaster Resource Center have been on the ground over in Abaco since Hurricane Dorian to help with restoring vital communication systems. Their goal is to restore internet access or any tech assistance to major hubs, clinics, hospitals, or distribution centers in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. Rashawn Smith is a Bahamian who lives in New York and works as a tech operator for the organization. She told us this is the company's first international project.
Right now we've deployed modems at a few of those, but we're looking to also expand so that they can not only accommodate the employees, but also any visitors or locals that may want to come in and contact people in different islands or their family.
Power is a big problem here. How has that been affecting your operation?
It has stopped us a bit. It's been a big hurdle. I would say that's why our focus has been on places that have power, first of all, and then we've been keeping a database of places that we also want to add internet access to and just checking on them and seeing what their status is with their power and electricity access.
And coming up, a closer look at the Cancer Society and how it's meeting the needs of cancer patients. So stay close.
Look, it's simple. Fidelity can consolidate all your bills with our debt consolidation loan. Give you one monthly payment and money in your pocket.
So let me get this straight, Miss Financial Coach. You say something about cash in my pocket?
Yes.
And a savings plan with 5% interest? Wow, finally! A bank that's looking out for me. What do you want me to sign?
That's not all. We also offer competitive interest rates and free financial coaching.
Miss Fidelity, you ain't hear me. Where do I sign?
You are welcome to join Apostle Gino Jennings during the First National Holy Conference of the Bahama Islands of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ Incorporated. Under the theme, Stand Your Ground. Services will begin Friday, October 11th at 7:30 p.m. Continue to Sunday, October 12th at 7:30 p.m. 2 services on Sunday, October 13th at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. See you at First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ, located in Grantstown, formerly United Apostolic Church. For more information, call 427-4848 or the church at 326-5047.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Thousands of entrepreneurs in Grand Bahama and Abaco are being encouraged to take advantage of funding available by the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center to restart their businesses post-Hurricane Dorian. Chairman Jeff Andrews maintains it's important to re-energize the business sector on those islands.
The emphasis of this plan is to support the remobilization of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises who, pre-Dorian, employed approximately 4,000 persons across Grand Bahama and Abaco. MSMEs are the backbones of many of these communities that have been affected. And so to restore the communities, we must restore the businesses. Although we are in a rebuild mode right now, what we're looking at in the next 3 years is to significantly strengthen the economies of both Grand Bahama and Abaco through this process.
Director Davinia Grant explained the impact the organization has made on the business communities in Grand Bahama and Abaco.
Prior to the storm, we already had 102 startups signed up as clients of the Access Accelerator and 51 existing businesses. So that's basically over 200 persons that already signed up from Abaco. Likewise, we had nearly 800 persons signed up in Grand Bahama. So a significant amount of individuals prior to the storm were already seeking assistance from the Access Accelerator for their businesses. Now those same clients will need special attention, at least the lion's share of them, to redraft their plans in a way that makes sense given post-Dorian initiatives.
An official funeral planned today for former cabinet minister and parliamentarian, the late Tennison Wells. The service is set for 11 a.m. at Christ Church Cathedral. The body of the late Tennison Wells were viewed yesterday and the remains at the house. Lloyd Allen joins us live from the house. Good morning again, Lloyd.
Yes, hello again, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. A solemn morning this morning as much of the nation prepares to lay to rest former parliamentarian Tennison Wells. That funeral procession is expected to take place later this morning. But before we get to that place, our ZNS News will be following. I am joined this morning by Nesbitt Higgins. He's a meritorious council member from the FNM who's known Tennison for a long time, a lifelong friend. And you said you both met in 1969.
That is correct.
So tell me about the early years of Tennison Wells.
Tennison, whom I know for many years, we met around 1969 or thereabout because he was interested in politics. Cecil Wallace Whitfield, who I had admired, he and Tennison has always been friends. And because of that relationship, I was a follower of the then leader. Well, he was then a PLP, but I had always followed him. And we struck up a friendship, even though he was much younger than I, Tennison. I saw then that Tennison had some potential politically. And as a result, I've been who I really was in politics. We sort of get together, and ever since, I watched him grow politically. As a matter of fact, Tennison was the Member of Parliament for Bamboo Town. And I regard Tennison as one of the greatest politicians that ever came in Bamboo Town to represent that constituency. He was a giant of a man. Tennison knew just about every person who lived in Bamboo Town, whether you were for him or oppose him. Tennison was a kind man. If Tennison gave you his word, that was his bond. And I am going to miss him because Tennison and I, we developed politically together, even though he was younger than I am. And when Tennison came to Bamboo Town, I was one of those persons, the late David Bullard and myself. Tennison came, and he stuck with us.
Now, it's been said by many that Tennison, while he was alive, was a shrewd businessman, a man of his word, as you just said. What are some of your fondest memories of your friend?
Tennison, yes, indeed, was a good businessman. He was a good politician. In 1982, after the general elections, Tennison said to his generals at that time, he said, listen, I don't have much money left. He said, but we could start something together. And Tennison started. He asked around, how many of you all would like to get in business? He said, I only need 10. And we formed a company called 11 Investment. And I am proud to say that that company did well. Among many other things, Tennison would always encourage the people in Bamboo Town who really wanted to get into business. He would encourage them, the young people. Tennison was one of the first MP that I knew of introduced at Christmas times ham and turkey. He made sure that everybody or every household in Bamboo Town had a good Christmas. And for that, we are very grateful.
Now, another thing I'd like to ask, of course, his family is still very fresh for them, his passing, but any bit of advice for his wife, Stephanie, or the other family members as they prepare to now say goodbye?
Stephanie, Mrs. Wells, was always the win beneath Tennison. And let me say to you, I know she's gonna miss him.
What would you like to say to her?
Stephanie, be strong. The Lord is with you, and he will always hold you and protect you. I am saying to his oldest son, Daddy is not here now. You have to keep on keeping on. Hold and love your mommy, because she is so precious to the family.
And of course, ZNS News will continue to follow this funeral procession of the late Tennison Wells as it unfolds today. Reporting to you again, LaDon, from Rawson Square downtown. It's a great Friday and a great day to celebrate those who we remember as friends, but also those who we celebrate in our lives today. LaDon, back to you in studio.
Thanks again, Lloyd. Meanwhile, Centerville MP Reese Chipman has resigned from the Free National Movement. He will continue as an independent member. Chipman feels he can make a greater impact in this capacity. He has made a request with the Speaker to address the House at its next sitting. Chipman delivered one of the most important 2017 election victories by unseating former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie. The Cancer Society of the Bahamas is continuing to do its part to educate Bahamians about the impact cancer is having on the community. As we continue to raise awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we sat down with the head of the organization to find out about their activities planned for the month, success rate, targets, and plans for the rest of the year. The Cancer Society of the Bahamas has been around for more than 2 decades, and they've assisted thousands of Bahamians with various forms of cancer. Now I'm joined by with the president of the Cancer Society of the Bahamas, Dr. Williamson Shea. Dr. Williamson Shea, talk to us a little bit about the Cancer Society's efforts, I guess, to educate Bahamians about breast cancer and early detection, especially during the month of October.
Well, as you know, the Cancer Society has been around for many, many years. We always try to say that we don't only deal with breast cancer, we deal with all types of cancer. But particularly in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a lot of emphasis is on breast cancer itself. And every year we try to promote the mission statement of the Cancer Society, meaning try and eat healthy, do healthy lifestyles, and then screening and prevention is the main thing that we try to put forth. Because if you're going to get a cancer, it's best to get it as early as possible, so we can give you proper treatment and give you a cure. And that is the motto of the Cancer Society.
What are some of the events that you guys have planned to educate Bahamians this month?
We tend to get a lot of invites to go and speak to different groups during the month of October. We had Duncan for Boobies yesterday on Shirley Street, and that was well received, and we got quite a bit of contributions from that. And then we go to various hotels, businesses, schools, and we promote our motto of trying to prevent and screen for cancers, yes.
And I know you're also a surgeon as well.
Yes,
Talk to me a little bit about some of the trends you've been able to see. I know that there's been an increase in younger women being diagnosed with breast cancer. Talk to me a little bit about that and your concerns about that.
Yes, I am a surgeon, and unfortunately, we've been seeing in the Bahamas that we are getting women at an earlier age having breast cancer. In addition to having it done more earlier, we find that the disease, the severity of the disease is more, and women are actually still presenting very late to us. So we cannot give them cures. We have just palliate them at some point. But again, the education is to screen and prevent cancers before they reach a certain stage.
How often do you conduct surgeries for persons with breast cancer?
I probably do maybe 1 or 2 breast cancers a week, actually, whether it be biopsying or whether it be doing the formal surgical procedure on them. Yes.
What's that like for you as a surgeon?
What is it
operating?
Well, you just sort of have to deal with the patient herself, and then her family, and then the emotional part of it. It's a lot of work, though. Yes.
Is it expensive for the patient?
Well, as you know, I work both in the public and the private setting. In PMH, we don't charge for their procedures, so they're welcome to come to our clinics, and we do the same thing I would do in the private setting. In terms of cost, I have to get a lot of the exact numbers for you, but you have the cost of anesthesia, the hospital visit, the operating room, then the post-op care, chemotherapy, all that incurs a lot of costs. Yes.
I know earlier we interviewed a breast cancer survivor who told us about, them getting pregnant while on chemotherapy. What's that? Is that a concern, or is that harmful?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we do see women at an earlier stage, so there may be women who in the childbearing age that gets breast cancer. It is not very common that we see women with breast cancer in pregnancy, but we have seen them in the past, and depending on which trimester they get the cancer in, we can either try and bring that lady to term and deliver the baby, and then give her chemotherapy and treat appropriately. You mentioned that she developed breast cancer while on chemotherapy, which is quite rare, but I think it was a good outcome. Yeah.
And what advice you want to give to women out there who are, I guess, at high risk, but are afraid to come because of, the impact breast cancer would have on them physically and or mentally? What do you say to persons out there or women out there who are afraid to actually go in and get their mammograms?
Well, I need to encourage women to do the mammograms, and the recommendation is to do mammograms starting at age 40 and then do them annually. Before, as you may know or may not know, the women in the Bahamas have very dense breasts. The mammogram sometimes, because of the density of the breast, may not be the best test. So we complement that with ultrasounds there and there. But again, we have to also start off with nutrition and lifestyle in these women. Try and limit the amount of fat intake we do. Try and maintain a good body weight. Do your prevention measures. Do your screening, and hopefully, if the screening measures does pick up a cancer, we get them early and treat them appropriately.
I know you've been the president of the Cancer Society for 3-4 years now.
Yes.
Are you pleased with the work that the Cancer Society has been doing over these years?
Well, as you know, my position as president is a voluntary position. We do have administrative staff that we have on salary, but the board themselves is just voluntary. I do this out of this kindness that I do it out. But it's been very rewarding. We go out and we spread the word about prevention and screening and healthy lifestyles, and it's good. I don't mind it. I love doing it. Yes.
Is the Cancer Society still in need of donations, monetary donations, to maintain, I guess, the center and/or facilitate persons that are coming in from the islands?
We're always fundraising to try and cover costs that we have. As you may know, walking around here earlier, we have a cancer caring center. Patients come in from the Family Islands and stay here for free. We have a room where there are 2 beds, one for the patient themselves or our special guests and a caregiver, and we transport them to the hospital for the various tests, doctor's appointments, take them to the grocery store if they need to buy groceries, and all the funds that we raise are for the caring center, really, and it helps out a lot for the Family Island patients. And presently we're full, so you can see the amount of expense we have to incur.
Dr. Shea, thank you so much for joining us here, and best of luck to you and the Cancer Society as you can continue, to help cancer patients here in the Bahamas.
I thank you for coming, and we welcome you anytime.
As the country seeks to bring attention to cancer, support group member Sheila Smith is calling on corporate community to do more to help nonprofit organizations with their fight against the illness. Smith, a member of the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group, says more funds are needed for educational campaigns to better teach the public about breast cancer.
We need more education. Without funds, you can't really educate the public about what's going on. I've met too many women who've had their head in the sand for too long. So we need to come up front and speak more to them, because they get really petrified when they hear that they've had a diagnosis. And there's no need to be afraid. You know, it's just a part of life. It's one of the cross that you must bear as you go through life. Everyone has one. You know, cancer is just one of the many. So I really encourage corporate Bahamas to support groups such as Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing as we go on with our mission.
Stay close, we've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
Hi, I'm Stuart Cove, and for many years, I've taken pride in introducing young Bahamians and international visitors to the wonders of our Bahamian underwater world. Our marine ecosystem helps to keep our tourism industry and fisheries sector healthy and lucrative. We must all do our part in protecting it for future generations. And that is why I ensure our staff and customers are taught about the importance of coral reefs. I do this and more to protect our underwater life because I care. Do you?
At the Dixon Hill Lighthouse on San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In our replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected.
You are welcome to join Apostle Gino Jennings during the First National Holy Conference of the Bahama Islands of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ Incorporated, under the theme, Stand Your Ground. Services will begin Friday, October 11th at 7:30 p.m., continue to Sunday, October 12th at 7:30 p.m. Two services on Sunday, October 13th at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. See you at First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ, located in Grantstown, formerly United Apostolic Church. For more information, call 427-4848 or the church at 326-5047.
This morning we introduce you to Cat Key, a private island right here in the Bahamas. Charles Fisher has this special feature.
Bimini surrounded by a lot of keys, and one of those is Cat Key. We are going to take a boat ride over there, Captain Edgecombe. Situated just about 12 miles off the mainland of Bimini, Cat Key is 5 miles long. The manager of the privately owned piece of land is John McCreaney.
We've been a private island for 145 years now. We really just are a good corporate citizen, kind of, sitting over on the side, just doing what we think is the right thing.
150 staff members work and mostly live on the Key, and about 700 residents. It has its own solar plant and somewhat self-sufficient.
The power plant itself is predominantly diesel generated. We have 4 different diesel Caterpillar generators up here on the hill. One that's 1 megawatt, another that's another megawatt, and then 2 of them that are 3/4 megawatts. So we have 3.5 megawatt production in the powerhouse itself. Out here in the solar field, this is the main field here. Below me, you can see another field that's on an old cistern system, and then behind us is the warehouse, and we have solar panels on that as well. So the total production of the solar field is 1.2 megawatts. We've moved forward with solar because we feel it's a very good thing for us, but also for the Bahamas, and it's great to be a good example for others.
It's also an environmentally safe place.
So rather than burning in open burn pits, which is very common in the country, especially in the outer islands, this particular unit here actually meets all EPA clean air standards. We take all of our wastewater that typically would go into a septic system, and we retreat that. So we'll retreat about 3.5 million gallons of water every year that we can then turn around and use for irrigation. So we do a lot of things to try to protect the reefs in our areas. Our members really love the Bahamas. They love the Bahamian people, and they really want to be good stewards of the water here. So,
look good. Slips for boats, and also boasts of its own airstrip.
Yeah, 118 slips in the marina. Most of the slips, in fact, are owned by members. So on all the holiday weekends, they'll be here, and the population of the island will swell to 700 or 800 people. So we see a lot of caravans come in here. Mage flies in and out of here. We do see islanders, a couple pilatus. About every 6 months, it's used to evacuate people in emergency situations where the Coast Guard has coordinated with the Bahamian authorities to come in here and take someone out in a serious emergency.
And that's where the state-of-the-art Cat Key Clinic comes in, full with all the amenities of a full hospital.
Our clinic's been in existence for about 45 years. It was built by the members of the club for the staff members of the island. The emergency room doctors donate their time, and then our medical foundation helps fund their visits, helps pay for the medications that our staff needs and all of the treatment. Most of the treatment is for staff here on the island. Occasionally we do have boaters in the area that will have, trauma or emergencies, and we'll be able to help them as well.
For ZNS Network News, I'm Charles Fisher.
Fisher, I think I'm going to go swimming after work today, after all of that water.
You have a long holiday weekend, so I expect you to go to the water. We've got to ask Basil how the water's going to look.
So what's coming up in sports?
Boy, it's a sad night, bad night.
Wow.
John Good Jones just short of the top. He's so close, but a gallant effort. Everybody's talking about her. She's going to be one of the force to reckon with in the WNBA for years to come there, calling her the Bahamian Beast. Now her and some of her teammates are going to come home and help with that hurricane relief effort. They wanted to come home, celebrate as well, and help with the effort, but they're going to come home now and help with that effort over there in Grand Bahama. So still good is going to come out of it.
All of that and more ahead in sports.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge, as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include a decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Thank God it's Friday. It's time for sports. Our senior men's national soccer team, they are in the British Virgin Islands last night for their second game of the CONCACAF Nations Cup. What a game, as the Aquamarine Black and Gold got 2 goals from Leslie St-Fleur, Harpy Hall, and Quentin Carey also finding the back of the net. The Bahamas goes on for the 4-0 win.